What's up, everyone? We're back. Sorry, I'm all sweaty. I was watching the new Planet Earth. It's fantastic. I recommend checking it out if you haven't already. But we've taken the past couple weeks off, trying to get a few things in order, reconfigure some of our daily tasks so that they're more aligned with our longer-term goals. Some of that I talked about in the last video with our refocusing on who our customer is and the things, the daily tasks and activities that we can do to most effectively, reach those people and develop content and stuff that will help them in terms of what our solution provides, as well as supplementary information. Just trying to become relevant, I guess, as far as the topics that are sort of dancing around our current solution. So. One of the things that we've been doing recently, though, that actually has not panned out quite nicely is I did mention in some previous video that we had a potential new market that we were going to at least investigate, and that might be much more promising than our current market that we're targeting. So what I've done, actually, that person came to me and actually expressed the need that they had and how we are the closest thing on the market that they found to solving the problem that they had for the solution that they envisioned. And so a low commitment way of trying to investigate this for our purposes, at least, is I offered to develop a prototype for the functionality in Excel or in a spreadsheet program for him so that he could use it in the field and provide feedback on whether it was working or not. Spent a decent amount of time, producing a very high quality prototype so that he could use it and would get the value that he intended out of it in the field. But, as far as developing it going forward, I don't see it being a huge part of our strategy, at least right now. And so it's not to say that was, time lost or that is something I shouldn't have done. These are things that we learn by doing them, right? I think that by offering that above and beyond service and impacting people by going, that extra mile, so to say, with their expectations and exceeding those expectations, I think that's the way that you build a long-term brand and a long-term business. And so even though this wasn't the actual opportunity, I think that will lead to greater market size for us or opportunity for us, it was something that I think, well, at least he'll mention if he starts using the spreadsheet with his own clients or people that he's working with, that we produced it for him free of charge, just because that's a story that people can rally behind is just trying to solve a problem and again exceeding expectations by producing quality products and quality solutions. So that was one thing. The other thing that we've been grappling with was, as I mentioned also in a previous video, was our pricing reconfiguration or our business model reconfiguration. So it's been about a month since we've engaged in that whole effort. So we've seen some results, obviously, now. And it looks like our conversion rate has actually stayed pretty much the same. So nothing has really changed as far as conversion rate. But the thing is that now we are charging essentially 150% more than we were previously. So we're essentially just capturing that margin based on the people that are signing up in our current conversion rate, since it wasn't affected. So essentially we just captured margin, and that looks good. It's the first month, obviously, that we've had it, had the new business model release. So we'll see what happens in the future, but so far it's looking quite good. So another good case study to look at. I know that in the video that I talked about the business model stuff, I did mention SlideBean's use case or case study. Can't think right now. But there's also a company called Mention, who is another SaaS-based company. They, I think, listen to social channels for mentions of keywords and will alert you or something like that. And they have a cool case study on their pricing redesign. So it's pretty much in line with both. Our results are pretty much in line with both of their results. So that there seems to be something to that. The main hurdle seemingly is just to get people to pay for your product. And once you get people paying some amount, there's a huge amount of gray area with regard to what you could be charging. And we're experiencing that firsthand. So certainly if you haven't yet start testing your pricing and seeing what else you can charge. Just again, it's not even a greedy factor. This is something, especially early on, where all the money's going back into the business anyways, and in doing so, you're building a better product that provides a better solution for your current customers. So you have an obligation to pay them, to have them pay what they are willing to pay, so that you can do what you need to do for them to help solve problems. So that's the second thing, and then thirdly, I guess all right, so coming back to this, sorry, I'm reading the notes on my phone, so this is just spur of the moment, obviously. As you can tell, I didn't do my makeup for this show yet. But anyways, the reconfiguration, again, I need to get these more thought out and structured when I do these videos. But the video that we talked about, I think it was the last video actually, where what the hell am I doing, right? Who am I targeting? Who's my customer? A lot of these have follow-on implications as far as what your sales channels are, what your price point is, what your business model looks like, your sales structure, all that stuff. And so, especially early on when you're a founder, you maybe have a CTO and maybe one other co-founder with you, you are doing a lot of things simultaneously yourself. So you have to really focus your time on the things that are moving the needle for you, and you can lose sight of that, especially on a daily basis, where opportunities come up, people come to you and say, oh, this is just like the thing that I thought could apply to this market, or whatever. There's opportunities that peek their heads out, and you have to assess whether those are worth your time or not. Again, most of those opportunities are probably not, and it takes really structured thinking around what you're doing, why you're doing it, and who you're doing it for, that helps focus you on what you should and shouldn't be doing on a daily basis. So like 6 months ago, I was reaching out to a market that was interested in what we're up to, but they were not our end customer. They were almost a middleman in the transaction, and so actually add further complexity to the transaction itself, the sales process itself, of course, longer sales cycle, lead times, things like that. So it was even though we were getting meetings, we were demos and signing up a good amount of people, it was not necessarily the most productive way we should be spending our time. So we've reconfigured that recently, and so now I'm spending my time doing daily activities that are much different than what I was doing 6 months ago, with writing blogs and trying to do more content marketing, which is actually more effectively reaching our target market and is more cost effective and more time sensitive, I guess you could say. So a lot of this is stuff that, again, there's no roadmap for. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just you have to get out there. You have to start doing it. You have to start assessing the results that you're seeing from each of your efforts, especially if you're spreading them across multiple channels. Early on, you have to dominate one channel and go all in and master that. And so you obviously you can't do that when you're spreading yourself across cold calling or cold emailing, and then content marketing, maybe even producing videos and blogs. Maybe focus on one or the other, which might speak to another mistake we're currently making, and we'll figure that out someday. Who knows? But these are the things that we figure out along the way, and you kind of just have to start doing stuff, start building the plane, or what is that saying? You have to jump off the cliff, or you have to build the plane as you're flying it. That's what it is. Yeah, so you have to build the plane as you're flying it, if I can offer one of those meaningless meme quotations. And so, but in this sense, it does have a ring of truth to it. You really do have to do that to some degree. We are noticing results, and of course, I'll keep you posted along the way as to how that goes, I guess. But we're optimistic. We think we have a viable path forward to take our business to the next level. We can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. So we're excited and we're optimistic. It's not to say that some weeks are going to be, drag on a little more than others and be harder to get through, but that's where our habits that we're instilling every day kick in and, kind of help us coast through those harder times. So that's where we're at today, and that's the basic message that I want to convey. Have a great weekend, and, of course, please leave some comments, share this with friends if you find it helpful. And if not, again, leave a comment, let me know, and I'll be sure to delete it as soon as possible. So have a great weekend, everyone. I'll see you next week.